Make sure to check out my Patreon if you want access to the best club tags across all regions. Hey guys, and welcome to another tips and tricks video. In this video, I'm going to show you the most generic mistakes I see people make who have bought coaching from me. If you apply these tips and tricks well, I promise you'll see a lot of improvement in your play. So honestly, just consider it a Christmas gift, and all I ask for you is leave a like and maybe subscribe if you want to see more educational and informative content. Thanks for watching and happy holidays. The first and easiest tip I can give you guys is basically just shave off seconds off your clear. So it's a bit harder on other champions that have no ranged abilities, such as Warwick, to have camps walk towards you, and this is why you use your smite. So if you know for a fact you're going to clear your Gromp and get level 3 after getting your 2 buffs off, you want to just walk towards your Gromp while doing blue, maintaining auto attacks between movements, and then just max range smite it to have it walk towards you. If you're playing a champion like Olaf, Graves that have like pretty long range abilities, Graves has the smoke screen, Olaf has his axes, you want to make sure to throw your axe max range and then walk towards the camp while it's walking towards you. And basically in the work example, you're not walking back and forth, walking towards your Gromp, then walking back towards your next path. You're just basically walking towards blue, attack moving, and having Gromp come towards you. And once you finish it, you haven't moved the trajectory from walking from blue to Gromp and then back where you want to go. Another great way to shave seconds off your clear is to just auto the big unit camp only. I'm going to show you 2 examples here. As Warwick, I've coached a lot of people playing Warwick recently, and once you have your Tiamat, it's not really hard at all to just hit the big one and just lifesteal off your Q and your autos basically with your machete or jungle item. And also you basically sometimes go Bambi Cinder, so I have even more AoE, but I coach a lot of people who just like auto the small ones, which I have no idea why. You don't have to do that at all. Just maintain focus on the big one, and later on you'll just realize how many seconds you save. So look at these 2 examples and tell me what you think. The final example I'm going to show with this theory is to basically just multitask your camps. If you're playing a champ like Nidalee, Graves has some decent AoE, Graves has his pellets, his Q, his W, Nidalee has her W, her E, and can kite more efficiently. Then you can just basically group camps up together. So the best 2 camps to do this with are Blue and Gromp. I'm sure you guys have seen like Zach basically Q both of the camps together, but for the most part, you can do this with other champs as well. And once you have your jungle item, it becomes that much more easier to do it. And whenever Ravenous Hunter stacks, you'll just be full HP for the most part. I put this as the number 1 tip because it's one of the most important things you can have as a jungler at your asset, and I even coach people in Master Tier that don't even do this. So if you can get this stuff on the road and start being more efficient in your camp clearing, you're going to see a lot of improvement. I'll guarantee that. The next tips I want to show you guys will help you just gank more properly. So for the most part, a lot of people don't use their best assets and are in situations where they're not using all the stuff they have to do, the information like the tap key to see summoner spells, your red trinket, your pink wards, you're moving too much and then being spotted by wards because you're going through too much terrain. But for the most part, this will be the most important tip. In this clip where I'm playing Nidalee, you can basically see that I'm trying to make my character grab as much terrain as possible. That's the first thing you should do. If you don't have your red trinket yet or a pink ward, you just want to grab as much terrain as possible before you're spotted by the ward or the fog of war basically expires. You can see me hugging the wall, which is something you should do, because if you're spotted, you'll grab less terrain. But for the most part, once I see them overcommit, I have to go diagonally towards them, because once you're parallel with enemy laner, you can just respond faster than I'm going forward or backward, therefore saving more time and being able to close the gap as fast as possible. That is by far the most important way of knowing how to gank a lane in terms of pathing, but there are other things to take into mind, like dashing over walls to avoid wards, holding your dash for their dash. If you're playing Zin's out behind someone and want to hold your E for their flash, you can just do that as well, because they're overextended. Not many people use their red trinkets, pink wards to have better success rate on their ganks, and for the most part, just focus on the tip I just gave you, and I think you'll see a lot of improvement in your ganks. Tip number 3 is simply just play more simple champs, and champs that are really good in the meta that I always recommend. So champions like Volibear, Warwick, Trundle, they're really easy to pilot, don't take skill at all, and are basically just right clickers. I've been coaching a lot recently. I've seen people play like Nidalee in gold. I don't know why you'd ever go for that. You want to master these champions, and then once you've mastered the basics of jungling and become a better jungler yourself, you can look into those carry junglers. The reason why these champions are so much better in lower elo is because people will fight you head to head and not understand how much harder you are to kill, remain tunnel vision, and die. Why do you think Mastery has a super high win rate in low elo? People just walk up to him and try to fight him and get auto to death basically. Whereas Mastery is not even played in high elo at all because he's super easy to deny and people know how to keep their CC for him basically and lock him down. The thing that makes Volibear and Trundle, Warwick, all these 3 champs always recommend so good is because they're harder to die, strong in skirmishes, people don't know how to play versus them, easy to gank with, easy to do objectives with, don't require much gold, and they're basically just noob trap champions. So yeah, Mastery is easier to play in lower elos, but he's not as easy as these champions, and you'll require less items and be able to do a lot more in these early game skirmishes, which is why I don't really recommend Mastery and recommend these champs instead. Tip number 4 is to prioritize the right objectives. This tip is simple, but I always have people ask me the same question, so I made a best to worst list of what you should prioritize. This is strictly my opinion, so if you think otherwise, feel free to comment why. But for the most part, what I tell people when I coach them is just rotate in between dragons and rift heralds. So do your blue side camps, do Drake, get a ping for that. Once that's down, play top side for a bit before rift spawns, grab that, then go back to Drake, then back to rift 2, and then Baron's up. You've probably taken a few towers by now, and you have a lot of map pressure. As far as the major objectives go, I feel like Elder is by far the best right now. And after that, it would be the Baron. And then after that, the Soul Dragon. The Souls have been pretty good for a while, but they've gotten nerfed. And for the most part, they aren't as valuable as Elder and Baron, in my opinion. After that, you've got Dragon, Red, Blue, Crab, Grump, Wolves, Raptors, and Krugs. So like I always say, if your buffs aren't up, if the crab's not up, if objectives aren't up, just go for your blue side camps. Those are the best. And if you have nothing else to do, if you're playing a farm heavy jungler like Karthus, Graze, you want to just farm out your camps, Raptors and Krugs are fine. But for the most part, they should never be on your priority list at all in this current meta. The last and probably the most underused tip I can give you guys is to recall properly. I see this in challenger elos. Heck, I see this even done by the best junglers in the world in solo queue, obviously. But I've seen clips of Tarzaned stay on the map as Olaf with like 4,000 gold going for kills and such. It works sometimes if his decision making is good and his teammates are there to back him up. But for the most part, as a jungler, right now you're going to be one of the weakest people on the map after you get your jungle item. You want to make sure to recall when you have at least 1k gold for the most part. The thing that most people don't understand nowadays is that kills and assists are nice in terms of gold experience, don't get me wrong, but when you're putting everything on the line for a kill and just die and give up a massive shutdown, you just lose all momentum on the map. Enemy team has a power play. They can have vision in your jungle, deny vision, or just go siege a tower, basically. And again, with jungle being super experience lacking, you're going to find yourself even more behind when you're dying and the enemy laners are pushing in their side lanes and you'll be behind 3-4 levels saying, oh my god, what happened? I'm not going to be a factor in this game. And yeah, so you can't afford to die. So do not go for those overgreeds. Just recall when you have about 1k and there's nothing else to take on the map that's an objective. So I'm not saying always play safe, always play conservative, but in lower elos you can. But in higher elos, if you understand your limits, if you are an aggressive player, you can still go for those invades after a team is dead and respawning. And even though they have TP, if you can just coordinate yourself to play smooth, play slowly, dodge them out, then you can still go for those invades, obviously. In this clip, you'll see me basically playing Italy. I have about 3,000 gold. There's nothing else for me to do on the map. And I see Jax uses Counter-Strike on the Crux. I thought maybe I can just go for a kill. Unfortunately, this kind of baits my Alistar in, and I'm in a bad spot. And I believe I gave up a 1k shutdown here. And I could have also taken a Blaska and gone around, but even then, it's like if enemy top laner is paying attention, I'll die anyways. So Katarina ends up getting the shutdown assist. Janna gets the shutdown gold, but for the most part, you can't really afford to do this on carry junglers. Like I said, they're less forgiving, they're more punishable, and you'll just fall more behind, and enemy team can just come back and take over the game like this. Aside from that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope these tips and tricks help you out in terms of climbing for the season when it actually begins. And happy holidays. Hope you guys enjoy time with your family, your loved ones. And again, thank you so much for the amazing year. I appreciate every single one of you. And here's to better 2020. Take care, guys.